What's up everyone, it's Cameron here for another pre-recorded video, because by the time you see this video it's probably going to be uploaded by Friday or Saturday. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of pre-recorded videos for you guys so I can get some more content. And then I realized that I actually have a lot more time than I thought I was, because I think it's just because for me it hasn't even been close to our first quarter, so that's probably why I have a lot of time. So I don't know, I'm thinking that maybe by next week we can try videos every day, but this isn't about that. This is about that Legends video I talked about in my previous video, or in a couple of my other videos. And I also made a list of all the new stuff that came out that I will be doing. And yeah, we're just gonna be talking about there hasn't been a new Legends trailer, I don't think. If there is, I'm gonna put that reaction and breakdown right after this and right before the Legends set photos and casting call reviews, or I might do that post that reaction after that, but it's probably gonna be in the same video. But anyway, we're just gonna be doing all things Legends. I'm really excited for season 4. Looks pretty promising. They're gonna add Constantine to the cast. Really excited for that. And there's some like stuff about the actress that played Amaya, that she's returning but not as Vixen. So yeah, I'm also gonna put all the sources in the description below. Yeah, I got most of these sources from either like CBR or comicbook.com or some other sources too. I'll also put like other YouTube videos in the description below, because some of the information that I can't find like online, like casting calls for example, I'll probably just find a YouTube video and put it in the description below. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown. What's up everyone, it's Kevin here for another video. So today we are going to be talking about some Legends news. So we're going to be doing just some breakdown of like some of the new photos from the first episode, and we'll also be talking about some casting calls. Unfortunately, I cannot find information online, so I looked up a video that will be posted in the description below where they'll be talking about that. And yeah, so let's get right into this video. This right here is just the very first Comic-Con trailer. But anyway, yeah. Alright, so I will go through the set photos first and then probably read some descriptions. So we have Constantine returns in here, pretty self-explanatory. Right here, it does look like he's probably making some sort of like, I don't know, potion or something for a spell. And as you can tell by the title, Gary is, I wouldn't say the main focus of this episode, but he's just going to be probably prior in this episode. We do see Sarah possibly helping him out, and maybe building up that maybe friendship. And we do see in this episode, it looks like Gary is like possessed or something. We're not really sure what exactly is happening, because we do see Ray, Sarah, and Zari pulling them, and I'm assuming on the other sides are the other Legends, or it's Constantine. And we see just Constantine here possibly confronting the thing that is possessing Gary or something. And it looks like maybe he's talking to whoever is possessing him, like a demon or possibly something else. And we just see them. So it looks like, what's the plan? Well, they're probably just this is either most likely after what happens, or maybe it's before whatever happens in those other set photos, like right here. So yeah, they're just discussing, and we're here in this I actually can't remember where this this place they're at, but they look like this looks like the scene from the Comic-Con trailer where they see that unicorn. And yeah, we just see Zari and Mick blending in, and we do see another shot of Ray and Nate possibly looking at the unicorn, and we see another shot of them right here with Sarah. We see Sarah in some get up to blend in. We see more shots of the Legends in here. And yeah, we see Rory with his heat gun, so maybe he wants to like kill the unicorn or something. now right here we see Nate and Mick. So this looks like it's probably gonna be like a side mission or something in this episode. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. And yeah, we do see Mick here. This is probably the same exact scene here because we do see, or the same exact setting because we see Mick in the same jacket. She's probably at some like fancy like mansion or something, talking to like some kind of boss. Could be like a mob boss or something. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about that stuff, and we're gonna read some of the description up here. So, with just a month until the 4th season of Legends debuts on the CW, the network has released a dozen official photos of anticipated season premiere, The Virgin Gary. In this episode, Constantine tells the team of a new magical threat, taking them back in time to Woodstock. Okay, alright, that's what I was thinking of. This here is Woodstock. I remember that. I remember it was something. I remember the name, but I couldn't remember it like at that sequence at the top of my head. But this right here is Woodstock. So yeah, because I did see some of this information before, but I just couldn't remember what it was at the top of my head. Alright, somehow Time Bureau Gary gets involved, making a little more trouble for the team than they might have originally anticipated. The premiere also sends Mick and Nate on their own journey, leading Nate to reconnect with someone from his past. Alright, so this is interesting. So I'm assuming that that part is about these two photos right here with Nate and Mick on that side adventure. So someone he confronts in his past. So I have two theories. One, it's Commander Steele or Nate's grandfather that was with the JSA, or it's Nate's father that they didn't have the best relationship with. Or it could be Amaya, but I feel like that's probably unlikely. Yeah, so those are the most likely options. It could be Nate's mother, or it could be like another relative, but I feel like the main options are Nate's grandfather or Nate's father. Alright, the new foes, which you can see below. Constantine and the team are using Gary for some sort of magical experiment, one that he doesn't seem very willing to participate in. We also get some new glimpses of the team in their best hippie outfits, and they infiltrate the iconic events of Woodstock. The final two photos in the bunch offer some sight into what Rory and Nate are doing on their solo mission. While there isn't a clue as who the mysterious character from Nate's past will turn out to be, we're all hoping that it will be Amaya making her return on the team. As much as I like Amaya, it was confirmed that the actress is playing a completely different character. My initial theory was that it was gonna be they were gonna recast Mari, the present-day Vixen that appeared in that Vixen animated show, and also in that one episode of Arrow back in season 4. Because I think they were originally wanted Mari to be on Legends, but because of like scheduling issues with the actress, they had to make Amaya the Vixen. So if they recasted her, I honestly would not mind, to be completely honest with you. They do recasts all the time. Anyway, that's that. There's a little bit more information in this part, but it's mostly the same stuff. This is just a synopsis of after on like some of the just a synopsis of the season. But down here we get to see like a few other stuff here. Because we get technically 2 new cast members, I guess. We get to see, I think it's Alaska Yu and Charlie. Now Charlie is actually being played by Amaya, so it is a bit unclear on what exactly is happening. So yeah, I was just checking my hotkeys because I might temporarily pause this video to look this up so it doesn't like drag too long. Yeah. Alright guys, so I found some sources on some of the casting calls, or not casting calls, casting announcements. It looks like Nora Dark will be returning to Legends as a little redemption arc. A little bit like what they did with Black Siren, but maybe like something similar but also different. And we also got a few like casting announcements here. So we'll just go through some of the casting. This, in case you didn't know, Qian Lonsdale is leaving the Arrowverse. It's probably not forever. It's gonna be a situation with like Roy, where he'll just take a leave of absence, and yeah, he'll take a leave of absence. But I feel like he'll be back in like future seasons of the Flash of Legends, possibly like maybe season 7 or 8 of either Flash or Legends. I feel like he'll be gone for a bit. He might guest star occasionally. So yeah, Qian Lonsdale's leaving. He'll probably be back in future seasons. So yeah, it's about that stuff. Now here's the stuff about the new character that Amaya's actress is playing, Maisie Richardson. I think that's her name, Maisie Richardson Sellers. Anyway, it just talks about how Vixen left, and there's a quote from Mark Guggenheim. It says, "We just felt like we owed it to the character to complete this arc, complete the story loop that we got her in." Alright, all about that. Once we took her off of her path in 1942, it was actually incumbent upon us to return her to that path. But that doesn't mean we've seen the last of the actress Maisie Richardson Sellers. She'll play a new character in the 4th season, a rebel trickster named Charlie, who originates from a different dimension. So that's a bit interesting, because I don't think we've really dived into different dimensions. We've dived into different Earths, but not dimensions, so this is going to be interesting. She's a magical fugitive, Richardson Sellers revealed. She's a bit of a rebel trickster, a bit of an arsonist, this punk rock kid. The legends stumble upon her and have to decide whether she is a friend or foe. Her journey throughout the season is, can she join, or will she actually join but undermine and continue to have her naughty ways? Alright. So that's about that character. Now, it's a bit interesting, because I'm actually interested to see how she'll play this new character, because this seems almost completely opposite of Maya's character. And now, I think it talks about Rips. I don't know if the character is coming back. I'm hoping so, because, I mean, it even says he might come back because we never saw a body. Anyway, it talks about, and what about Rip Hunter Arthur Darville, I think that's his name. Guggenheim had previously refused to rule out a return for the character, even after he apparently sacrificed his life to help stop Mollis in the third season finale, because it's a time travel show, and because we never saw a body. Anything is possible, Guggenheim said. I think Arthur is totally willing to come back and play with us if we have a good idea. Yeah, because I don't think currently he's on any other shows, because they could always not even bring back the original Rip. But we could also play with the multiverse a bit, because that could be said, because I don't think, we haven't seen too much of the multiverse on Legends, unless you count the crossover from Crisis on Earth X, but anyway, enough of that. However, Phil Kilmer confirmed that Rip won't be back at least for this season, so we could see him return possibly next season in a new story arc. Who knows? I believe he's done with this season, Kilmer said, told Digital Spy, but I mean, Arthur Darville is the greatest. We've got a terrible habit of killing the greatest people. It's totally stupid. Yeah, like, look at, what's his name? Man, I know the actor's name who plays Leonard Sharp. I can't think of it at the top of my head. Wentworth Miller, that's his name. Wentworth Miller. I hope he comes back in a future season. That would be really cool. Anyway, joining the regulars for this time, John Constantine with actor Matt Ryan, looking forward to exploring new dynamics on Legends, and now that John is sticking around. It's gonna be interesting seeing the new tone with that Constantine brings to the show. I feel like it will be really interesting because this season looks like it might get dark in some places, but still have fun. Because that's what I like about Legends. It's not a show you should take too seriously. It's just a show to have fun. Ryan said the relationship between John and Sarah Lance playing that dynamic in episode 310. When I first came on board, I was like, oh my god, this really works. There's the way he interacts with Mick. They're both con artists, and Mick can provide John with the light to smoke. But other than that, are they going to get on? I don't know. And there's his relationship with Ray, who's the scientist, and John's magic, and I'm looking forward to exploring all of those. Yeah, it's gonna be cool seeing the different relationships John Constantine will have. It's just gonna be really, really cool. Yeah, fan favorite Ava Sharp also becomes a series regular for season 4. Her character arc was a bit of a slow burn this third season, and yet each episode revealed a new face of her character. I think that's a typo right there. It's either face or fact. Phil Kilmer said. She's been alternately funny, potent, engaging, enduring, and kick-ass this season. And yet, I know for a fact that we haven't hit all the Justice hidden gears as an actor. Nora Dark, who previously faced off against the Legends as she and her father Damien attempted to release the monstrous Mollusk, will be on a path of redemption this season, with actress Courtney Floor also signed up as a regular. Okay, this is interesting. So it looks like she'll be joining the team. It's gonna be interesting because in real life, the actress that plays Nora and Brandon Routh, who plays Ray, are actually husband and wife in real life. So we could possibly see their characters actually get into a relationship. Who knows? There's just this little synopsis right here. I don't think we really need to get into that. I'll put a link in the description below for you guys to look at that. Alright, here's the stuff about Nate's father. Phil Kummer has also promised that there are more changes coming this season. We don't want Legends to just remain in stasis. We're going to have at least a Legend, or if not two, kind of Breaking Bad the next season, and then presumably we'll find another new Legend along the way. Back to the Future's Tom Wilson, actual Biff Tannen, is joining the cast this season as Nate's father, Hank Haywood, a Department of Defense officer who doesn't know about his son's affiliation with the group. We're going to learn more about who Nate was before he was a Legend. Cameron said, we're going to get into his family life, and in particular his relationship with his old man, which I don't think people are going to expect. Alright? It's going to be interesting seeing that dynamic, because I think back then they kind of confirmed that Nate and his father didn't get along. So it's going to be interesting seeing how his reaction to when he eventually finds out Nate is Citizen Steel. This series has also cast Ramona Young as Alaska Yu, who goes from typical 20-something to kick-ass superhero during her time traveling with Legends. It's also been confirmed that the Legends will be staying out of this year's big TV crossover, which will introduce Batwoman Ruby Rose into the Arrowverse. Yeah, it's a shame that we're not having the Legends in there. We could have seen maybe Sarah or Nate pop up, but it is what it is. And it talks about why they're not in the crossover, and yeah, and we're gonna talk a little bit about her character in this next article if there's any news about that. If not, I'll pause the recording and check to see if there's any new Legends footage. If there is, we'll react to that. Alright, looks like the Wave Rider will be getting one more resident. Legends of Tomorrow has cast Ramona Young as its upcoming 4th season, and as was revealed on the show's San Diego Comic-Con panel, Young will be playing Alaska Yu, a character who does not have a clear DC Comics counterpart. I kind of like how they do this because they kind of introduce some original characters that we've never seen before. If this character is popular, we might see her pop up in the comics, similar to how they did with Felicity Smoke. Maybe not Felicity, because technically she did exist in the comics prior, but like a newer version of Felicity. I mean, and also John Diggle. Leska is described as a typical 20-something, easily swept up by romantic notions and fantasy novels. She's something of an expert in the world of magical creatures and the legends encountered in Season 4. In the company of the legends, she'll soon learn to get her head out of the clouds and become a kick-ass superhero. So it looks like she's going to potentially, maybe not powers, but still become a hero. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Because since she doesn't have a comic book counterpart, we could see a lot of possibilities with her character. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's unclear exactly what sort of abilities Alaska will have on Legends or what role she'll ultimately play in Season 4, but either way, it sounds like the team could certainly use Alaska's help, but considering the magical threats they'll be up against. Season 3's big bad Maul is a sort of bellwether of bad guys to come in Season 4. Kilmer explained in a previous interview, up until this point we've been dealing with earthly and historical bad guys, and we certainly had fun with all that. But this year we dabbled in the world of occult through Damien Dark and his enterprises. But you know that Constantine is coming onto the show as a regular next season, and they just talked about all that stuff. Alright. And this also talks about some of the other cast members that we saw in the other articles. So yeah, that's gonna be all. That's gonna be it for this little breakdown. If there is, I'm gonna pause this just in case. But if there is a trailer, but if not, I'm gonna have this little outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any future content. And yeah, and I'll see you next time right here on the channel. Unless there's the trailer. If so, I will definitely start recording that. So anyway, yeah, I will see you guys next time.